Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I wanted to do a little bit of a tips video here for you for Farming Tales. With new Waxchester right around the corner, uh, there's a lot of changes that are going to happen, and a lot of them are very positive for the game. But with changes with the overall game, it comes changes with your strategy. So the old way of doing things in Farming Tale to get as much success as possible will not translate very well in New Waxchester. So this video is going to be 8 tips plus a number of bonuses of how I am preparing for New Waxchester. These are suggestions. Do what's best for you. Do your research. There may be some additional ones that you may want to do, especially as we get closer to New Waxchester. But I wanted to be transparent, as I've been trying to do as much as possible with this channel, of what I'm doing in games that I'm actively playing, and this is what I'm currently doing to prepare for New Waxchester. So I hope you like this kind of video. If you do, go ahead and like and subscribe, and try and do more videos like this. Let's go ahead and dive into it. First things first, the old way of doing your farm, I guess the old meta was get as many cheap animals as possible, didn't matter what kind they were, and just produce cest as much as possible. Bruce, I gotta throw you under the bus on this one. Basically, getting 100+ geese and no other animals uh, isn't going to work. Essentially, because in New Waxchester, there is going to be, and I'm jumping over here, instead of getting zest for each of your products, you're going to be getting products, eggs, meat, wool, and you're going to take those products and you're going to make them into bigger products. For example, 10 wheat from a farm is going to turn into flour, which will be worth this, and then flour can be used for other things. So what I'm doing to prepare for the product system, which if we jump over to the roadmap, is actually coming out here this month. It is March already, which is crazy. So the product system is going to be launching this month, with new Waxchester next month. At least that's the current roadmap. So in order to prepare for that, I am doing a wide variety of different animals. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around here. I thought I had this one open. I'm doing a wide variety. I've essentially have multiple of every single animal in the game, so I can go through the process of producing those products once that time once that time comes. I still have a lot of geese because I started with the old meta where you just basically bought a lot of geese because the geese shelters were cheap. The geese were relatively cheap, and you can put 2 in each of the shelters. What I'm starting to do is I'm starting to convert these into higher rarity ones, and you can see all my stables that I have around here with all different types of animals. Obviously, cows uh, is also something I like a lot, so I got a lot of cows. But I also have a lot of the other animals, so I can produce a variety of products. That's tip number one: diversify your animals. Start getting as many different kinds as possible. Tip number two, historically, gardens have been unprofitable, not exactly the best use of your wax. That will change and has already started to change. With the introduction of the greenhouse, you can now do more than just tomatoes. And they've also extended the time frame of gardens and increase the output of gardens. If we jump back over to here, you'll see, as I mentioned, wheat is going to start making flour. Corn is going to start making cornflakes. If you look through this list, at least half of them are products that come from gardens. So the value of gardens is going to jump considerably, and the products that come out of there. So don't sleep on gardens. Start grabbing, and they're relatively cheap. I say relatively. Let me just jump over to here to see how much a garden actually is. Right now, yeah, they're relatively cheap, and it's cheaper to actually produce with your cest. So I would make sure you have a couple gardens. You don't have to have 1,000 gardens or 100 gardens. I plan on having between 6 and 9 gardens. That way I can cycle through my products, maybe even get to 12, depending on how everything goes. That way I can cycle through with the new seed timings that they have out there. Um, in addition to that, another key item that you want to consider is, if you haven't already, greenhouse. Greenhouse is going to be key for gardens and key for plant production. As of this morning, we officially sold out on Nifty. So you can no longer get your greenhouses with cest. You have to get them on the secondary market, but they're relatively cheap. For a legendary building, I think the lowest was 700 wax. Considering the value that they're going to provide, you could probably pay that back pretty quickly if you sell the seeds right on the secondary market, um, or if you hold on to them and actually use them for products. Another tip along with this, with seeds, I'm saving all my seeds. I'm not using any of them. I'm not reselling any of them right now. The value for them right now is pretty low because, again, you're just getting cessed out of it, and I get enough cessed out of my animals to cover me. I think the true value for seed is going to come when new Waxchester drops, and that when you can actually get products for them, and the weekly tasks start where you'll need specific ones. So I'm saving all my seeds. I'm grabbing 3 a day from the greenhouse and holding on to them. So that'll help me, I think, down the road. All right, that is tip number 2. Don't sleep on gardens and everything that goes along with gardens. Tip number 3, and this is a one that's been out there for some time. Make sure that you're balancing out your cest and CBIT production. Make sure you have enough staked to allow you, and it's not coming up right at the moment, to allow you to be self-sufficient. All right, even if that means reducing your animals that you have staked, make sure that you are getting enough CBIT a day to self-sustain your entire farm, and then build up from there. As you, what right now I have an overabundance of CBIT. I get more CBIT a day than I actually use. So I am in the process of adding additional animals now, again, to try and balance that out. The more self-sufficient you can be, the better in the long run. Another way that you can make yourself more self-sufficient is use the blending system. It has been great. I have been blending like no one has ever been blending before. Just kidding. There's people blending a whole lot more than I have. But I am in the process of boosting all my animals up. I had all commons prior to the blending system. Now the lowest I have is my geese are rare, but I'm in the process of blending those up also, which will reduce the number of geese I have. Uh, but I think that's okay, because when the product system comes out, there's only so many geese eggs that they can use. But I am in the process of doing that as much as possible, reducing my CBIT, which will allow me to put more animals on the farm and continue to be self-sufficient. So make sure you're self-sufficient before a new Waxchester comes out. Tip number 4. This is one that is so overlooked right now. If you go over to this page, where is it? There it is. Barns. Barns are cheap compared to silos. An epic silo is 800 wax. An epic water tower is 545, and an epic barn is 260. People don't understand yet that epic barns allow you to hold more production capacity and also make you eligible for higher tier weekly challenges. So they are cheap right now, but I have a feeling once the product system is dropped and people start realizing that barns are going to be needed in order to hold more capacity, I think this value is going to double. Again, this is speculation, my personal opinion. Don't take it as financial advice, but I have a feeling that it is going to jump up. So be ready for that. It's probably best, even if you can't afford that, go ahead and grab a rare barn. Um, that price will probably go up a little bit. I have a feeling there's going to be quite a few of those available, but Epic is right now a good price in my opinion. All right, so that is number 4 on the list. Number 5 is stack up on your cest. This kind of goes along with tip number 3 with the CBIT CEST balance, but CEST is going to continue to have a big uh, have a big role in New Waxchester. They've already stated that they don't plan on doing any more drops for wax. So every drop so far, at least that I'm aware of, that will be coming in the future, will be for CEST. And they've also said that they're going to do a 7D lead time, which gives you enough chance to unstake CEST in order to buy. So the more you stack up in your staking, the more you have for the future. That also includes the DOA system if you plan at all in getting involved in that. And then also for buying buildings in New Waxchester, you're going to have the ability to buy buildings. I'm not sure the cost of those yet, so I am going through the process. Is going to nope, still not coming up. So I just say whatever extra you have that you're not using to blend or purchase things like the greenhouse, stick in your stacking or staking. Um, Build that up because I have a feeling CEST is going to be used quite a bit in the future. So be ready for that. That was tip number 5. Now let's jump to tip number 6. If you have not already, I recommend and this is a higher tier. This is not for everyone. This recommendation. I understand people have budgets, so they won't be able to do this. But legendary buildings. Start looking into those. Those right now are undervalued because they only produce cest. But in the future, for example, hives are going to produce honey. Pier is going to produce fish. And obviously, I've already mentioned the greenhouse, and lumberjack is going to produce lumber, which is going to be key for products and weekly challenges in the future. So if you don't already have these items, I don't currently have the hive. I do want to get one before New Waxchester comes out, but I have all the other legendary buildings. I think the value of those is so undervalued for people that are looking at it short term. For those that are looking at the long term, know that the value of these legendary buildings is going to be very good, especially when New Waxchester drops. Another high ticket item that's kind of optional right now is keep an eye out for the partners. Um, Lycos and team have been announcing partners. For example, Greetings from Sativa is a partner that they've announced, obviously unlinked, and New Bio oil partnership that hasn't been officially announced yet will be announced shortly. The reason I'm saying keep an eye on those is they have NFTs that are going to connect to New Waxchester. They've already hinted at the golden windmill for Greetings from Sativa may give you access to a special building in New Waxchester that you wouldn't have normally. So keep an eye out for those. Try and get those early as soon as they announce those partnerships. Go ahead and check out their NFTs. NFTs may not be available. This one just happened to be for Greetings from Sativa. New ones will also be launched for each of these partners. So be ready for that. There is a connection that's going to have long-term benefits. All right, so that is tip number 7. And last but not least, this is looking beyond the New Waxchester drop. Coming in the future, boosters will be in play. They will not be in play day 1 for New Waxchester, but they have hinted in the Discord that once New Waxchester is available, they are going to turn their attention to making sure that the boosters are available in the near future. They did not give a date on them yet, but having said all that, boosters are cheap right now. All right, each one is individual for an individual building. So if you have an epic garden, for example, if you get I think it's this one. Yeah, if you get like one of these, it'll increase. I think it increases the speed of the production. Um, so that's one thing that you may want to keep an eye out. I know a lot of people have been asking about boosters, and they've been undervalued because they've been pushed back and pushed back because of other priorities. But they have said that they are looking to get boosters implemented shortly after New Waxchester. Now, having said that, there's obviously a chance priorities could change depending on what happens in New Waxchester. So just keep that in mind. But they have said in Discord that they're looking for boosters to come out here in the near future. All right, I hope these tips help. Again, these are my personal items that I am moving forward with as we get ready for new Waxchester. If you have any other ideas or tips, go ahead and comment them down below. I hope this was a helpful video. If it is, go ahead, please like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you.